Jason Kenny levels Sir Chris Hoy's 6 Olympic golds in keirin to become greatest British Olympian. Moments after fiancee Laura Trott wins a 4th. Jason Kenny wins Great Britain's 19th gold medal of Rio 2016. He pulls level with Sir Chris Hoy as Team GB's most successful Olympian. Laura Trott won her 4th Olympic gold in the omnium earlier. There was a moment here on Tuesday night when Jason Kenny was so quick he overtook a motorbike, very nearly ruining the perfect ending to a quite brilliant Olympic Games for the golden couple of British sport. For 5 agonizing minutes the judges studied the video footage, with the British coaches even approaching them armed with a laptop and what they clearly thought was a case for not disqualifying Kenny and instead allowing him to ride in a rerun of the keirin final. Television replays did seem to suggest that Kenny and Malaysia's Azizul Haniawan had broken the golden rule of passing the journey before the motorized pacemaker had pulled off the track. But they were handed a reprieve, finally seeing off his rivals with another remarkable turn of speed at the 3rd time of asking. Little more than an hour after seeing his fiancée, Laura Trott re-established herself as Britain's most successful female Olympian with her 4th gold. Kenny stood shoulder to shoulder with Sir Chris Hoy. They no longer just share a birthday. They also have 6 golds and 1 silver to show for what they can do on a fixed-gear bicycle. It means a house in Stockport might now need an extension, so much new metal will be returning there this week. Their combined tally is now 10 golds in all, the 5 they have gathered here in Rio actually ranking them above the Brazilian hosts in the medals table were they to create their own country. Trott, reduced to a flood of tears when she embraced Kenny after seeing him emerge from the fear of elimination to win the concluding race of the track program, was more interested in creation of a different form last night. "Our guy loved him to bits. Our kids have to get some of these genes right," Trott declared on Twitter. Those genes might well produce the ultimate bike rider, but last night as individuals in their respective fields they were also responsible for the single most impressive moments of the evening. A split second in the semi-final when a sudden injection of power put clear daylight between Kenny and the rest of the field. And the sight of Trott violently shaking her bike and pushing through the pedals with everything she had before recording the fastest flying lap in an omnium field she simply annihilated. It crowned an incredible Games for Trott and Kenny, but perhaps more impressive still was one quite staggering statistic for the standout sport of Team GB. A total of 14 British riders have pedalled in anger here inside the velodrome over the past 6 days, and all of them will return from Rio with a medal, their final tally of 11 actually eclipsing the dominance they enjoyed on the track in London 4 years ago. What an achievement that is, and what a response, last night, to the thinly veiled accusations of cheating that had come earlier in the day from some of their rival countries. For more medals was quite the repost, Becky James taking her 2nd silver of the Games in the sprint after Katie Marchant had made sure nobody was flying home empty-handed with the bronze. It was a pity, perhaps, for Team GB that James was beaten by their chief accuser, Christina Vogel. The German powerhouse had described the British performances as questionable, only to beat the woman who had qualified quickest and looked terrific in the semi-finals 2-0 in the final. Indeed, in the second race Vogel even overcame losing her saddle in the closing stages. "I gave it my all, but it was disappointing," said James. James, of course, deserves credit for even being here to take 2 medals, given the trauma she has endured since winning 2 world titles in 2013. She has a cancer scare and a career-threatening knee injury that put her through hell for 2 years, so her overall demeanor was one of joy. Nothing, however, compared to the sheer outpouring of emotion from the excitable Trott, who was so impressive in the way she responded to Charlotte Dujardin briefly threatening her status in British Olympic sport with a 3rd gold in the dressage. In defending the title she won in London 4 years ago, Trott was outstanding over 2 days of her 6th discipline event. A dominant force. Among the accusations and insinuations that were directed towards British cycling, one French rider complained that they are just walking it. And while that was not true in many cases, certainly not in the men's team pursuit for instance, Trott did make this look ridiculously easy. Her body does not always agree. The girl from Welland Wheelers has this habit of vomiting after the more physically demanding events. But victory in 3 events and a second place in 2 put her in a hugely commanding position going into the concluding 100 laps points race, and at no point did she ever look in trouble. She was the calm among the chaos, a class apart from the rest. After her own event she was understandably ecstatic. "I honestly can't thank everyone who has supported me enough," she said. "Especially to my coach Paul Manning. He puts up with my crap on a daily basis." Kenny presumably puts up with it too at times, but last night Trott was the one who suffered, the big screens inside the velodrome capturing the concern on the 24-year-old's face as the Kierin riders circled the wooden oval waiting for the decision of the judges. The riders shall remain immediately behind the pacer until such time as the pacer leaves the track, states the UCI rules, adding that a breach of that rule will lead to the race being rerun and the offending rider or riders being disqualified. As Britain's head coach Ian explained afterwards, the officials only had a photograph for reference. On the Team GB laptop, however, was a replay provided by their own video analysis team that the commissaire agreed was inconclusive. Lucky for British cycling, and the Golden Couple, that it did the trick.